Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the viewers at home. Maipisila Mosaseka, Vitoramina Emina Ripumelo Raka Mageza, your standing host for today, Eka Nongonoko and our The Faith Table. So Eka Sakrana Muntla, we are going to have a nice conversations with our guest. So Ntatantam Zelako, our guest line, Ganabonaka Sakrana Muntla, we have our moderator, the Right Reverend Advocate SPH Nyambi, Kungabona host guest Sakrana Muntla. Inhlekani
Nwantamela.
minjani?
Hi pfukile minjhani n'wina?
Hi pfukile.
Inkomu.
Welcome to the Faith Table.
Thank you.
Feel free engage a conversation ya hina eka siku ra namuntlha.
Sure.
Inkomu. So xo sungula lexi ni lava ku ta ku mi hi byela hi xona, it's your early days when growing up, like how was it like, mi kulele kwini, mi huma kwini, and then we'll take it from there.
Inkomu swinene. Ni velekiwile a tikweni ra ka Minga, rural area, very rural. That's where I was born, and I grew up there. Ni nghena xikolo kusukela a lower primary until ni complete matric a ri Pambeta senior secondary school. Ni ri karhi ni nghena na EPCSA. Ani nghena nkereke yin'wana except this one. Kwani huma ka background ya yona.
Okay.
Inkomu.
So before, with you growing up, when did you realize that you actually had a calling to serve in ministry?
I think it came late in my life. It came late. All I know, iku ane randa kereke swinene, but I had no intention of becoming a minister whatsoever. I know attend. In the beginning, it was a hobby. Andaku suwonaku. This is also one of the necessary things in life to do. So ni ngena just like na van'wani vana hikula khuvuriwa, but then loko munhu se ari ka towards matric, I think it was a year before matric, se hela munhu se a ti prepare ku hela ku endla yini.
Yeah.
I was dreaming of becoming a lawyer or a doctor, simply because there was this big graduation ya vana vele vukosini bya ka Minga, the current hosi Minga Xilungwa, lava he's a lawyer by profession, na Dr. Tiny Minga, who is a medical practitioner. So ni navela valawo I will either be a lawyer or a medical practitioner. But later on, everything changed. It came as a surprise to me, I must tell you. I must never lie. It just came. And many of my teachers were surprised, and some were disappointed. But why does he do this? It's a waste of brains. That's what they said. It's a waste of brains. Because people didn't understand the role of ministry aka society. But so by 1988, so I'm taking a decision. Yeah, so I could know I want to be a church minister.
A church minister.
Hey.
Yeah, I hear you saying that a lot of people were disappointed and shocked
Yes.
in your decision to become a minister.
Yes.
Akerekeni. So I'm assuming that there might be challenges or defining moments that through the journey when you decided kore sen lava ku ya abufundisini. Do you mind sharing a few of them, the challenges or your defining moments ka journey ya n'wina as you decided okay, so this one I'm taking this decision, I'm going to ministry?
Yes, the change is not because the people I'm talking about, yeah, they were disappointed and they were never afraid. We were disappointed. We thought we were going to be this or that in life because ufundisi swi tekeriwa swilo swa le hansi swi associate na vusiwana na nga ku nga tlharangela kahle uri mfundisi, so and all that. So I didn't get encouragement except from my grandmother, lava vanga nikurisa. Be so rest in peace. Kokwani wa mina n'wamxi. Lava n'wana avanga support, but va ku n'witsikeni a ndle swo lavaka swona. The other support which I got was from Reverend M.W. Khosa. I think these were my pillars during those days. Loko vanhu va karhi va criticizer. It really became as a shock ni nga va mfundisi. But I got courage from these two people who were my inspiration. So that is the only challenge that I had. But after that, I proceeded. I passed matric. From there, the church sent me to the Federal Theological Seminary in Pietermaritzburg. That's where I studied and completed my theological training.
Okay, interesting journey.
Yes.
Interesting journey. So I hear you mention that loko mahakula, you wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Yes.
And you did reference two people, lava un'wanyana ku ri lawyer, un'wanyana ku ri
Yeah.
doctor. So besides those two people, what would you say Swimi encourage you kumbe like were you fascinated about ku ri mi ze la mi teka decision yo I am going to pursue law? A lot of people know you as a minister or a reverend at IPCSA. Most of them, they do not know that you are actually an advocate by profession. So mengaku, what are the interests? Like besides the two people you referenced, good, okay, I think beside me being a reverend in Lavaku and Pesua law.
Well, I must tell you, the Federal Theological Seminary, yini endlile ku ni rhandza tibuku swinene. And ni pursued the theological studies even after post Federal Theological Seminary, FETSEM, we call it FETSEM. Post FETSEM, I pursued my theological studies. But then it came to me, kurikambe swilo leswiwani swa vufundhisi na mina n'winyi a ni nga lavi swona. You know, sometimes I joke and I tell people, xikwembu xi yo ni kanganyisa laya swona swa ni lavile swona. So, by the way, I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor. Mara ku ni nga hava a doctor sweswi ni tlhelela tlilasini. No. But then I can't be a lawyer. Leswi a ni lava swona mina. But ni teki ndlela leyi xikwembu xi nga lava yona mara ma ni lava leswi. And then I started to study law until I completed my LLB with UNISA. Yeah, so I felt fulfilled as well that but then still I remain a full-time minister of the church. I'm working for the church for the past 35 years. I've been working for the church uninterrupted. But of course, now of late, when I became an advocate, it was in 2020. That's when I was admitted an advocate of the High Court. So after that, I made a request. Maybe after a year, I made a request. Can you allow me to do some legal practical work? Not all, but some legal practical, the simple ones which will not take much of my time. So I don't want to leave full-time ministry, but allow me to, at my own time, to do something legally. And fortunately, the church allowed me to do that. So I do attend, I go to court sometimes, but since most recently I was elected the moderator, I conveyed it to the general secretary. Look, there is too much here in law as well. There is too much here being a moderator because I know it because I was in this position before. So this one, it will no longer work. I will stop it for a while until I finish my tenure, my term as a moderator. Then I will come back to it so that I can be able to concentrate on because now it's no longer a matter of looking at Kowankowa now, parish. I'm looking at the entire church. This one, I will put it aside for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if my next question will still be relevant. Ana laktambuti since your plea was granted, Guru, you can practice law while being a full-time minister. So laktambuti what values do you think your legal experience will bring to the church or to you as a leader or as the moderator of the church? The expertise ta le ka law leti ti nga tirhaka ku pfuna you personally as a leader like kerekeni?
I think personally, being a lawyer myself, I know how the law works. And I know that the church is a structure which is operating in South Africa, South Africa, which is it's a legal state. We call ourselves a constitutional democracy. Ifamba according to law, and I think I will be able to make my humble contribution ka ku komba kereke kuno. Aka mandlelo ya hina a hi tlheleni hi landzelelana nawu wa tiko, hi nga tikumi hi ri karhi hi lwa na nawu wa tiko, hi famba hi ndlela ya kona ku va ku ri na order, hi va part ya creation ya order atikweni. So I think I will be able to advise that at no cost whatsoever. So it will help me as a leader, but it will also help the church. Because remember, the church is about justice, and law is about justice. We dispense justice to treat people fairly, to treat people justly, and that the value state of kerekeni, the value state of ka now. So hlangana. I'm not saying there are no contradictions somehow here and there. I do find myself lana kuma ukuri, hey, kuna a clash between mina being a mfundisi and hala tlhelo kuba a lawyer. Kuba na a clash. For instance, if I marry these people now as a mfundisi, I marry them, I bless their marriage. Now they want to divorce, they come back to me again and say, look, take us to the divorce court, assist us, want to divorce. And it's my job as well to do that.
so
it's my job to separate people. Yeah.
So your work contradicts itself. Ala ufundisi na ala uloyareni.
At times they contradict.
Yeah.
But all in all, it's about law, it's about justice. The gospel of Jesus Christ is about justice. God is a God of justice. That's why she chika ngena Egypt loko she vona va Israel va hlupiwa, because they were being treated unjustly and they wanted to promote justice.
All right. So with that being said, how, in your own view, how do you think it's important for church leaders to know the importance of governance, the importance of justice la akerekeni?
Definitely. I think the church leaders have got a responsibility because he will have strategic leadership. And ku va kota ku nyika strategic leadership, va fanele va tiva mhaka ya governance. Va fanele va tiva ku loko hi ri a kerekeni a ho endla swilo haphazardly. We're talking about corruption now at tikweni. The church must assure that there is no corruption. And if the church will have to teach people that there should be no corruption, the church itself must not be corrupt. Because you can see now churches nowadays are being corrupted in one way or another. You find vafundisi va karhi va khomiwa va rapile swihlangi, kuna the rituals and all this. The image of the church is being tarnished. So it is very important for church leaders who va tiva the how to govern the church, and that will bring back the image of the church in society and its role. So I would advise, John Wesley, uri mfundisi I fanele ku va hi voko ra xinene a khoma bibele, hi voko ra ximatsi a khoma newspaper. So that even when you preach about things which are happening at tikweni. So I would advise the church leaders that minga khomi bibele ntsena, khomani bibele voko ra xinene ra ximatsi, khomani na newspaper. You know what is happening at tikweni, mi kota ku guide kereke yi pfuna ku address the challenges that we have.
Yeah, I think you're making a very valid point. Mhaka yaleyo. So I think we have heard a bit of our moderator's history, his journey when growing up, his calling into ministry, now your law pursuit. So I think, we've heard a lot or quite a bit for that. So we're not going to dwell much on that.
Okay.
So now we're just going to move along to the next point, which you highlighted briefly. Kuri, now you were elected as the moderator of the church. So I know it's not your first time being a moderator. Na ngwenati viewers laba mngaswitivi, it's not his first time serving as the moderator of the church. So this time around, what do you feel personally kutava like milangutele yini as a moderator for the second time around, or what is it that you want to see it happen under your leadership this time?
Thank you very much for that question. Yes, indeed, I was a moderator of the church for 2 terms from 2013 until 2019. That was 6 years. So, so this is perhaps you can call it my third term.
Third, yeah.
So I'm not new in this position. But the point is, even if I'm not new in this position, things have changed over the last 6 years when I was no longer a moderator. Things have changed. There are new challenges letting go kona sweswiwani. So I really don't have to dwell akamagaku. I know na stiva. No, ani address the problem ta nkarhi walowo. Sweswi we have got new situation which will need a new approach. So ni teka ntirho lowu hi vuntshwa futhi nakambe. But I think lexi ni xi vonaka ku kereke yi fanele va ka xona sweswi i ku the gospel leyi nga dyondzisiwa yona hina a yi disconnecta a xikarhi ka timhaka ta justice a hi dyondzisiwa hi timhaka ta tilo mara ta misava hi nga dyondzisiwi ku ve hi ku xikwembu xi endlile tilo na misava mara a hi dyondzisiwa hi ta tilo ntsena mara ta misava hi nga dyondzisiwi. And bibele yi ri xikwembu loko if you were to ask me ku aka tilo na misava xikwembu xi rhandza ngopfu yini, my answer would be say xi rhandza ngopfu misava ku tlula tilo because bibele yi ri xikwembu xi rhandzile misava swonghasi xi nyika n'wana wa xona langa. So I think xikwembu xi rhandza ngopfu misava ku tlula tilo. So i ku kereke sweswi hi dyondzisa vanhu the relevance of the gospel aka vutomi lebyi nga kona namuntlha. Hi nga swi kota ku vulavula hi ti-challenges leti nga kona, unemployment, crime leyi nga kona, poverty leyi nga kona. The gospel has got something to say about that because it permeates every area of life for that matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you mentioned, Kuri, though you have served previously for 2 terms, this muteka as intironcha, meaning that ifanekele hi mi vona as a new person who was just elected nga boni moderator la anga seva malembe ndzhaku. So I like the fact that na n'wina mi swi vula hi ndlela yo you are open to new things. Like you even mentioned Kuri swilo swi cincini leswi matirhelo ma 10 years back na ma sweswiwani obviously ma ta differ hi mhaka ku minkarhi ya kona a ya ha fani. So personally ka n'wina, this responsibility, what does it mean to you on a personal and a spiritual level?
Can you repeat that one?
I mean the responsibility ya kuba a moderator. What does it mean to you on a personal level and on a spiritual level eka n'wina?
Thank you very much. I think both on spiritual and personal level, and on a personal note, I think you are aware, the church was aware, there was a time when I was hospitalized and I was seriously sick. I nearly passed on. But by God's grace, nehanya. But then moderator for this, I said to myself, hey, maybe God has got another plan for me. That's why he saved my life. And after Synod, I took a break. I took a break for a week to pray that God, what do you want me to do this time around? Because you have used your people to elect me as a moderator. What do you want me to do this time around? Please show me, guide me. And that has been my prayer. And I didn't give God a life, timeline. Hey, you answer me this time around. But I think as I go on, God will really show me what is it that should be done. But I think the church, you finally transformiwa hivana he twista the gospel according to all its dimensions. Hingavi otherworldly. If he langutana the issues then that will make us relevant. But another thing, the projects ta hina laha kereke, in particular, it remains incomplete. And I think I will make a call to the Presbyterians that we have got an incomplete revolution. Let's complete what we started and make that one, Valdesia, our city.
And you started it.
Oh, well, collectively,
Yeah,
yes.
collectively.
Collectively with others, yes.
Yeah, with others.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
I think perhaps God was saying, you have to come back and
and
ensure that it is completed.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Collectively
that.
with others.
With others, of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we have moved from a lot of things as Maipesi Otala. Recently, we were celebrating 150 years, which was a milestone for for everyone. Himakakum. I mean, 150 years, how many churches la South Africa? Tinga banankateko will celebrate 150 years. So I feel he katekile as my
Of course,
EPC.
yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
So in ingaku as we celebrated 150 years, what is it that we need to reflect on, Kuri? Maybe this is what we were called for. Kuba etukumi ku celebrate 150 years as EPCSA.
Yeah, of course, kereke ya hina, na lava nga ngheni kona kereke ya hina, yi va shapile. Yi shapile many leaders, yi shapile highly qualified people, the business people, famous people, yi va shapile, hambi va nga remembera ta yona. That history must be celebrated. I don't get machine ku yendli swibedhlele na swikolo na yini na but that history yi fanele yi celebratiwa, and I think 150 was worthy to be celebrated. But I think the very, very important question is where to?
From here.
From 150. Where to? Because we must use our past to prepare for our future. If we think of what happened in the past and we end up there, then we're not going anywhere. 150 is gone. By the end of this year, we are done. We're beginning another year. Around 151. So I think we have to have an agenda. Hitavana Moderators Council in January. Hitafana kwa hivana agenda ya EPCSA ya Carlo say ya kwa the time ahead of us. We have celebrated 150 is enough, but then we have to move forward. And I think one of the best ways to move forward, I was worried the absence of Swiss people after 150 years was conspicuous. They were not there. And I believe the previous leadership might have invited them, but they were not there. Like they were not there at 140. So I think it is my responsibility to take this matter further. And we talk about it as management, as executive. The reason in the past divided, so we cannot come in. But now the church is united. The process, because remember, it was a process, but this process culminated last year. Now is a time for us to go to Switzerland to tell them that now the process is now complete. We want our relationship to be restored. But any assistance from you it will be welcome. Mara historical relationship also assist us to build Valdesia. Because after all, it's also yours.
True.
You bought it for us.
True.
Yeah,
I think you made a very valid point. So Otsemba Kurahai, if Sita Famba Katle, the relationship, wherever maybe it might be broken, Naban Vale Sita Tsamseka. So, moderator, you know that in our community, not a PCSA, Maraka, the communities that we live in, we've got so many social issues. Kuna makata poverty, kuna makata unemployment, kuna makata family breakdown. The family is just dysfunctional. So I just want you to know, in your point of view, Kuri, how we as the church are we supposed to respond to such issues in the communities that we're living in?
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Like I said, ku sweswi hi fanele hi languta ti-dimensions hinkwato ta the gospel of Jesus Christ. Hi nga ha languti tilo ntsena as if misava a hi ya Xikwembu ende xa yi rhandza. Ti-issues leti ti serious hikuva ta hi affecta hina as a kereke. Poverty ya hi affecta hina as a kereke because ku ri hi kota ku sustaina kereke fanele hi ku va na mali, and the source of our income akerekeni i vakreste va hina. These are the people lava nga unemployed and we expect money from them. So poverty na hina ya hiba, but apart from that, poverty yi tekela munhu ndzhuti wa yena la nga nyikiwa hi Xikwembu. I mean, loko vona munhu a kha a rholela swakudya, n'wina ngopfu tshama emadorobeni a kha rholela swakudya, that person is a bearer of the image of God. Mara you see, poverty yi n'wi endla ingaku a nga ha ri munhu. So the image of God is getting lost there. So kereke yo fane ku va yi nghenelela yi endla contribution hi ku tirhisana na mihlangano yin'wana yo fana ya va Mutsipe Foundation leyi nga busy to redress the imbalances of the past. Kereke must join in there. Hi tirha jointly, hi va na a collective approach. Poverty, it's not supported whatsoever. There is no biblical evidence leyi supportaka poverty. Poverty it's wrong, it's bad. Yi hunguta vumunhu bya munhu. Breakdown ya ti-families, Xikwembu xi katekisile ku va na mindyangu emisaveni. Then breakdown is against God's will. Hikuva Xikwembu xi ri loko hi ta fanele hi va na community leyinene, hi fanele hi va na mindyangu leyinene.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I never to have community lane.
Yes.
Okay. So I know Kurusofana na kereke yana, there are a lot of things that we are doing to support the less privileged. Sofana na mintlawa hinkwayo, I believe almost mintlawa hinkwayo ya la kereke ni va na the outreach programs laha yi yaku yi ya nyikela, maybe it can be on an orphanage kumbe ka within community leyi tshamaka ka yona. Sometimes you find that it becomes a challenge loko mi kuma ku varhangeri va kona va pfhumba ralero, like they don't get support from the church itself kumbexana from the leadership of the church respectively. So maybe as swifundeni swa hina kumbe ti-presbyterian ta hina. So what do you think will need to happen ku va ku the nta yi vula njhani, pfhumba leriwani ri supportiwa from ahenhla flowing down ku ya ehansi? Because mi kuma ku ri ha swi lava tanihi just a normal member of the church, but you're not getting support maybe from vakulukumba kumbe from consistory. So what needs to happen ku hi tikuma ku we spread the gospel out there, not ku nga ri timhaka ta swa bibele ngopfu mara, but what we have i yini lexi fanelaka ku endleka ku ri we get the support from the top people going down ku ri inani ya kona yi kota ku flowa respectively, so going down.
I ku va hi ringeta hi matimba hinkwawo ku va hi tsundzuxa vanhu hi mission wa kereke. Because ku na swilo swin'wana leswi vanhu va hleketa ku leswi a swi lavi kereke leswi swi lava tiko, leswi i swa tiko. The church must be involved. We don't have to escape from the world. We are not of the world, but we exist in the world. And we need to challenge because Shido is not only personal. Shido is also structural. Asibona kwala leswi nga endleka ntikweni ku leswiwani i manifestation ya Xidoho. Se i ku dyondzisa vanhu bexini wa kereke leswaku look, kereke ntirho wa yona kumbe rito ra Xikwembu futhi, let's go beyond the church hi vulavula hi the gospel. Ntirho wa yona a hi ku languta ntsena swa tilo, a hi languteni na swa kwala, hi languta swi va balance, hi va na a balanced approach aka spirituality ya hina. So i ku va dyondzisa ku na lowu i ntirho wa kereke. I think it encourage na hi ri vafundhisi ku let's preach the gospel which will address the current issues. Let's preach the gospel that will answer the questions that are being asked now.
Yeah.
So I think that will be the approach.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you made a valid point, Kwalano. So you mentioned earlier on through our conversation, Ukuri, we need a minister must hold a Bible and a newspaper to see what's happening in the world.
Exactly.
I believe you are aware of what is happening latikweni rena, not only in our country, but so melela matikweni man'wana mo kuma ku ri swo ka swi nga twali mara ka tiko ra hina ra Afrika-Dzonga now we are faced, I would call it a pandemic, yeah, GBVF.
Yes.
So swi le ku hi karhateni swinene, more
Yes.
especially we women,
Yeah.
swi le ku hi karhateni swinene.
Yeah.
So what do you think, more especially kereke ya hina yi nga tlanga role muni ka this thing ku tikuma ku hi hambana kumbexani hi lwisana against this GBVF? Because I know so fana na vomanana, they have recently launched mhaka ya gender based violence, I think na madodana sometime in 2020 va launchini to stand in solidarity ku vona not in their hand avenge twanani na swona swa GBV. So what role can the church play as a whole ka mhaka leyi?
Yeah. Mhaka ya GBVF is very much unfortunate. Hikuva indeed hi yin'wana ya ti-social ills leti hi nga na tona. Well, generally hi ri kereke, any form of violence a hi seketeli. Whether it's violence against the women or against men or against children, violence against everyone. Kwa ku sweswi swani hi na problem ya ku yi tele ngopfu hala ka vasati va le ku xanisekeni. We don't support that because hi believe ku Xikwembu xi endlile munhu wansati na wanuna. The way mina ni lava ku treatiwa ku xiswona na nsati wa mina ni fanele n'wi treatisa xisweswo. The respect leyi ni lavaka ku a ni komba yona, it must be reciprocal. Na mina ni fanele ku ni n'wi komba yona. The differences a swi bohi ku va ti leadela aka violence. You can sort out your difference, but the point is ku sweswi hi na vana lava nga ri ku na vatswari va dlayanile, a duvula nsati a tlhela duvula na yena. It's very very much unfortunate. Mara kereke yi na influence aka society. We must come out. Hi nga swi bohi ntsena aka synodo kumbe hi vulavula hi swona ka conference ya madodana mara tiko ri nga swi tivi ku hi vurile yini. Because I'm worried about this this juncture between the church and society. Loko hi endla swilo swa hina hi swi endla ka cocoon ivi tiko ri nga swi tivi kahle. I appreciate the fact that ku sweswi madodana na vamanana pledge na hinkwaswo na leswi nga lonchiwa swi le ku endliweni nyana ku i response ya hina yaleyo, but tiko ri fanele ri swi tiva leswaku hina hi famba kun'we na ti-organizations leti ti lwaka na swilo leswiwani because it's unbiblical. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think our chat or conversation was quite interesting. There's a lot that needs to be said, but unfortunately, because we're running out of time,
Yes.
so I think we're coming to an end for our today's episode. So before Yakufalen, we're at the festive season, just one. I just want you to just give a short message ka Kreste ba IPCSA, the well wishes for the holidays, and then
Ba Kreste ba EPCSA, you have got my blessings. I bless all of you. Loko hi karhi hi nghena ka festive season. Ya hlayisekani hinkwenu ka n'wina na mindyangu ya n'wina. Xikwembu xi va na n'wina a tindleleni aka makungu hinkwawo ya n'wina ka mitlangu leyi mi nga ta va na yona. Mi nghena ka lembe lerintshwa ri va lerinene. Hi va ready ku tirha, hi tirhela tiko, hi tirhela mindyangu ya hina, kambe hi nga rivali ku tirhela kereke. My PCSA, Valdezia i ya hina. Let's focus there and do something even better. Best wishes to all of you. Go.
Inkomo, thank you so much, moderator, for your time. We know you're a very busy man, mara I can and come and talk to us. Thank you so much to the viewers. Namuikona ifika emakumu ka our episode here today. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe until we meet again. Thank you.